going to give it a second just to make sure that we are good. It looks like we are running, and I see I have a couple viewers. So, hey guys, Tristan here from RC Bros 2000, as you guys all know. So I haven't really been able to do any RC stuff. I've been working on a couple things. So I just got home from work, had a long day, and I am currently in the process of working on a little project for a friend of mine. Doesn't live too far, but basically I'm going to be 3D printing him a hip-mounted proton pack. If you guys who don't know, I do a lot of Ghostbuster costume charity stuff, and I use my 3D printers in that case to build a lot of the props I use and whatnot, all Ghostbuster themed. Well, a buddy of mine, he has some back issues, so he can't wear your typical Ghostbusters proton pack that you see. So he had modeled up what you guys see on my screen here. I would have a webcam, but my webcam was stolen. But basically, I'm in the process of preparing it to be 3D printed, and as you guys can see, there's a couple parts I've already reworked over the last week that I've had on and off time to do it. But I have about an hour before, hi Kevin, before I really have to do anything, so I wanted to get a bunch out. I was like, you know what, I haven't been able to upload anything, but while I'm working on this, why not have a chance to talk with you guys, for those who are interested, while I kind of work on this. So instead of viewing my typical update videos and whatnot, if I'm working on like a 3D printed project or something, I'll pop in here and say hey to you guys. So yes, if you guys, as I said, this is all Ghostbuster themed stuff that I have right here. So you got your basic parts and whatnot. He kind of used this weird 3D printing program, or 3D modeling program, so it all came out like bleh. And nothing matches up, so I'm kind of going back and over, and that's what I've been doing. But yeah, so I'm gonna, while I work on this, I am going to be pretty much talking to you guys, kind of getting back into the swing of things, because it has been quite some time since I have done anything for the channel, and it's really kind of depressing that I haven't. So, as you guys can see, if you see here, all the holes he put are all misshapen and whatnot. That's why I'm trying to go in and fix. This is a 3.5. If you look down here in the corner, you can see the measurements I'm taking. And the lowest is 2.7. So I'm going to go with 3mm holes. So those are a tight fit. And for this specific part, they are... it's hard because the whole thing is kind of wonky. About 85.5 millimeters apart. So here's what I will do. Why are you doing that? There we go. So I'll cut this in half. So 85 millimeters apart. 85.5. And I'll move that right here, and that gets me the distance from the holes. Hey Marky, so I had said this a minute ago, but basically what I'm making is I'm redrawing a 3D printed hip-mounted proton pack. So something I don't really showcase on the channel a lot, which I would really like to do, is the fact that I'm in one of those costume charity groups, and the charity group I'm in is all Ghostbuster themed. So a buddy of mine who has some back issues had asked if we could 3D print, or I could 3D print, a hip-mounted Ghostbusters pack for him. So he modeled this up in one of his programs, and of course the program he used really came out really what's a good term? I'll just say it came out really bad, so I am redesigning it or redrawing it with better angles and whatnot, because nothing is lining up. So just a cool little... Oh, you're asking, Kevin, you're asking me for something I haven't even dabbled with. The closest thing I can think of For a Rustler, ooh, like see, I have a Rustler, but I don't have one that's on VXL. Generally, I kind of run around the 21 to 19 pinion range and around the 55 spur gear range with my Rustler. Depends on really the day and what how she's reacting. But I've never actually my Rustler does not have a VXL system. That's one of my plans for this year. I want to get a bunch of my RCs. Oh, I just lost the face there for some reason. But I want to get a bunch of my RCs up to brush the system. Now, why are you doing that? Why are you misbehaving? Let me get rid of these lines real quick. There we go. But yeah, like that's generally where I kind of keep my RCs at, is around that kind of range. Generally works for my slashes. But my Rustler. There we go. Marky's got you. Why are you not? This hole does not want to work out for me. Why do you not want to work? I said hole. All right, cool. So those are the 4 holes right there. So yeah, this is kind of what the parts I got so far. This is what's referred to as the cyclotron right here. And yeah, they do get crazy on 3S. So this is what's referred to as the cyclotron. The particle accelerator, whatever. And I got in multiple parts to print on my 3D printer. I got this top piece, that piece, and these 2 base pieces because my printer can't print such a large piece. Got the crank box, which I'm working on now. This is the power cell. I have my 3 2S lipos, and I just got a used 4S from Coyote 0976, which is insane. Freaking, if you haven't seen the unboxing I just did from him, man, it is crazy. Yeah, that backslash I got from him, I kind of made an oops and hit my brother with it. Yeah, note to self, guys, if you have a little RC with an A scale ESC and motor with a 4S lipo, don't run into people. Yeah, that knocked him up. I just must botch that. Kind of hit people with it, but yeah, that's kind of. Yeah, that's 3S is crazy. 4S is insane. Let's not get into the other batteries in between. That's 7. That's 8.8. So let's meet the middle and do. That's 7.2. That's 8.8. Let's meet in the middle around 8. That sounds about fair. Yeah, let's try around 8mm hole there. And that is. That's. Looks like there's a line somewhere in there, about there. So, well, 30.5mm from the center edge, it looks like. Yeah. Why do you keep doing that? Yes. So let's do here 30.5. Just so you guys know too, the music that you guys hear in the background, I can't tell if it's playing or not. I believe it is. It's the NCS House playlist. So it's all the no copyright sound stuff. So if you're ever want to like listen to some of the music, it's right on there. So what I say, 8mm over here. Let me check that again. I think it was 88. Yeah. All right. So let's do 8 right there. All right. So we have our marking for the interior. Oh, Control Y. Oh, I just botched that. That's okay. Thank you. File undo. Undo draw line. Redo. Redo. Oh. Okay. I think I I gotta redo that. So that was... What's the bad news, Kevin? Why do you do that? So this was what? 30.5, then 8. Got it. Alright. But yeah, so some of my my plans for this year. I want to get a lot of the RCs up to brushless systems, and dude, I don't have to work tomorrow. I'm actually going to enjoy the whatchamacallit, the extra hour of the sunlight. Okay. And you're calling from the coming in from the UK? Okay. I know someone from over there. Is it gonna be fun for you with the whole night getting the whole hour loss of sleep, or is it somewhat bearable over there? Spring forward. 0.4. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy this hole. And I'm going to, because I want to put the same hole on the other side without cutting a hole through the other edge. So let me hide this real quick. I'm gonna pop that right there. Edit unhide. I need. Okay. So then this goes. That's about what? 4.5, 4.4 centimeters in. So these are just markings for holes. So I am going to do. Oh, too far. 3. There we go. So that is. This is this part right here and this part are actually going to mate together. So this kind of sits on top of there. But the reason why I'm redrawing, transferring all those measurements from this box to this box is, like I said a little bit ago, it's just the modeling program my buddy used messed up, and none of the lines really like to line up. It's the exact same measurements I took from this box, or at least parts of it. But actually, if you ever look at like any of the Ghostbusters themed stuff, the setup cost of getting the 3D prints, it generally kind of goes with what you're working with and what you're doing. So for my 3D printers, my starting costs. I bought the my first one for $500, which is, for terms of 3D printing, it may sound like a bit, but it is nothing compared to some of the other expenses out there. There are 3D printers that go over for quite over the thousands. I have what are referred to as FDA 3D printers, or not FDA. God, I always mess up on this type of 3D printing. Like I can get SLA down pat. Is it? No, it's HLA. HLA. Is it? Me. Please forgive me. I am always blank on the names of the 3D printing types, because it's all in the they all have stand for something, and I always suck when it comes to remembering that stuff. I actually when it comes to 3D printings, I have actually 3D printed a couple parts. I actually have a couple parts I just got off the print bed for Jason, Dark Ecliptic Heart, that I'm going to be sending to him for his Revo 2.0. And depending on the material, they actually hold up. I haven't tried anything like arms or any of the suspension parts all too much. I know there's files out for this. I would love to give them a try. And I've seen a lot of stuff that people have designed in terms for RC cars. You know, from basic parts like what I had designed a ESC cage for the Sidewinder 4 when that first came out. So you can find a bunch of stuff for that. So You know, there are definitely opportunities for designing and printing stuff like that. How well they hold up, like I said, I'm not entirely sure. The biggest problem you have to deal with the 3D printers and oh, come on, Tristan, you're blanking. And just the strength of parts is all up to the material you use. And RPM actually, I believe they do a form of injection molding. Which is basic for a lot of parts. It's very easy, very quick. They use a special type of plastics, which is versus what like Traxxas use. Because from what I can tell, RPM actually use a material that's instead of like your normal plastic where the molecules are just kind of all over the place. Their plastic, I believe, has a little more of a rigid property to it. It has a better bonding of the material. If I remember correctly from when I was actually looking into it long ago, they actually have, it's almost like a fibers that keep all the parts interlocking, which is why it's a lot stronger compared to like the Trax counterpart. But generally, most of those parts are all injection molded, which basically means they have two molds. The molds come together, they inject the plastic, molten plastic, into the mold, and once it's done cooling, it pops out, drops them, and lets them go. That's why a lot of their parts, to make it quicker, they have that little parts tree, that little piece of plastic that connects them all together. That's just a piece so that they can use to connect all the parts so they get them all done in one quick mold. As you know, that's kind of their advantage of doing injection molding, is they just are so much faster. For 3D printing, it can take hours to do certain kinds of parts. But a lot of times, depending on how you print them, can depend on the speed, the orientation, and actually the durability. So I don't have any pictures to pop up on my 3D printer on my computer, but one of the parts I'm sending to Jason is a Revo 2.0 body protector, which basically you unscrew the clip this body system and you place this over the top and screw it back down, and it keeps the parts from, or the screws from, pulling through the body. And the way I had designed, the person that designed it was not very well designed, so there's a couple weak points. And the best way I could find to 3D print it was sitting sideways, so that there were some supports holding the two sides together, which I could easily break with my hand. I had redesigned it. Again, I can't show you guys because I don't have my webcam, nor do I have any photos of these parts. But now, since I redesigned it and reoriented it, I can't break the plastic by hand. So, depending on how you 3D print the parts, can depend on how durable they are. Like if I were to 3D print a RC like shock tower, I would print it in a way where the Z-axis, because the way the 3D printers work is it's kind of like printing a paper out, but then it brings it back in and prints it out again, and over again. So like say, okay, this is my 3D printing software. So this is actually perfect. I can actually, oh hey, here's the part I was talking about. So this is kind of like how it builds the part as I scroll up. It just does it layer by layer, injecting the plastic down. So depending on how you have this like your part oriented on the surface, depends on the structure and how well it's going to last. Because each layer is a weak point in the print, and depending on how you have your settings, it could depend on whether or not certain parts are going to last. Like for this part, originally I had it oriented in this fashion. So when I first 3D printed it out with the Z-axis going from the bottom to the top, these points right here, these connection pieces, they would snap just by me putting some force on them. But since I moved them to this orientation, I actually gone in and modified this part to beef up this section right here. I can't break it by hand. I can put all my weight on it and it won't break, or all my strength on it. I'm pretty sure anything would break under my weight. But yeah, that's generally 3D printing when it comes to the strength for RC parts. And like I said, another big contribution to the strength of the part is the material that you use. Generally, for the cheapest material you're going to come across in the 3D printing world is a material called PLA. And that is the most inexpensive and easiest material to print. The only issue is it's very low temperature, so if you leave a PLA part in, like I say, a hot car, it's going to get some seriously bad warps. I've seen what can happen, and it is not a pretty sight, especially if it's something that you worked quite some time on. But that comes with the territory. As for, there's other materials such as PETG. PETG is a more higher temp material, and it's shock resistant. It's a softer plastic, and with it being shock resistant, it can handle those higher temps. So that's actually a better material to use for, say, RC parts, because it's got a little bit of give. The only issue, at least I've experienced with said material, is that I have yet to achieve a very good layer the layer adherence. So a lot of times when I go to use the part or mess with the part, like say I 3D printed a little funnel to use for the RC cars, for the gas ones, and there was a little tab at the very top of the rim, and that separated from the rest of the part quite easily. And that's just because I couldn't, the individual layers of the print did not adhere well. So it's just all in the name. But as I kind of got really sidetracked, but to your question regarding how much does it cost, you can get a decent 3D printer for around $200. Mine are the Robo 3D R1 Pluses. They run brand new for around $500, and like I said earlier, they can go to the upwards of thousands. And if you're doing that, you're extreme into the hobby. You do for an average starter, you do not need a $2,000, $1,000 3D printer. And if you do, well, that's you. But for the most part, if you're just getting into the hobby, you don't need it. So, if you're planning on just doing a couple fun parts to run, you're better off just paying someone to do the parts for you. Oh, I was on the wrong axis on that one. The red axis. But if you're actually looking into kind of getting into the hobby, I think I am. I think I'm going to when I'm working on little projects like this. Like this one is just kind of the biggest topic right now. It's kind of 3D printing because that's kind of what I'm currently working on. But I want to do more, like kind of, kind of give more information, especially with like the RC stuff, because that's what my channel's primary about. But I want to kind of step into the realm of a couple more things like the 3D printing. I was thinking, and maybe I can get your guys' thoughts on it while I'm here. Maybe I was thinking about possibly doing some stuff with the Ghostbusters, the charity stuff. Like maybe start doing some videos or have a GoPro running and upload the footage when I do some Ghostbuster events or the charity events. Like in a couple weeks, I'll be at a convention down in Chicago called C2E2, and I was thinking about doing bringing my GoPro to that and having a little fun. But I haven't fully decided on that one yet. I still need to figure out how to attach that to my pack, or just walk around with a GoPro on my head. Don't know yet. Come on, where's the blue axis? There's the blue axis. But I was thinking about doing some more stuff with the Ghostbuster scene. I've been thinking about doing more like these, like you said. And yeah, just kind of getting back into the channel. It's been like forever. Make sure you show us the parts when you do actually get the project complete. I totally will. Like, you know, I'll come out and show you guys. I know that my the guy I'm building this for wants to have it complete, or wants me to have it complete for a certain event coming up. But it's still in the summer, so I'll definitely be uploading, like, doing a little video for this to show it off for those who are interested. But right now, like right now, it's just been kind of hectic, which is why I haven't done any uploads. And it really sucks, let me tell you. There's just been so much happening lately, and just have not had the time. Right now, well, since I pretty much started it, if you were around when I was working at Best Buy, you know, my schedule is all over the place. I really couldn't do much of anything. And I ended up landing this new job at a manufacturing plant for medical equipment, and that kind of went sour recently, just because 3D modeling is can be a headache. Yes. Really, this program I'm using is it's okay. The program is okay. There's a lot of better programs out there. This is SketchUp 2016, Google SketchUp, and it's like I said, it's an okay system. I would prefer something a little different, but it's kind of what I have. It's what I know. If I have what's called I'm just gonna draw this to this corner. Makes it simple. I'll redraw the hole when this part's complete. Put them holes right there. Right now I'm just kind of drawing trying to get the surface up so I can start building this section right here. But yeah, it can be a pain in the butt if you don't know what you're doing. This program itself isn't. It's a easy drawing program that works great for 3D printing. Just the way it builds the models. It makes it really nice for 3D printing and just how it registers them. Because if you don't have it right, you run into the issues of where, well, this stuff. Oh, I'm inside the model. Let me get out here. There we go. This, where nothing is lining up because it just doesn't render right. So this is exactly why I'm even in here in the first place. If the guy who had designed it in a better software, this wouldn't be that big of an issue, but I digress. Other than that, it works. That's the best way to put it. It works. Hey, RC Voodoo, how you doing? But yeah, it can, if you don't know what you're doing, 3D printing and 3D modeling can be a chore and a half. Okay, so I was wrong. That corner is not like that. Okay. So so I don't have to do that to that one. There we go. Here we go. So I am making a Ghostbusters hip-mounted proton pack. So on one of my normal off weeks, I do sorry, brain's failing on me tonight. I do charity work, dressed as a Ghostbuster. So, you know, like the kind of groups that go dressed as like superheroes and whatnot to like kid hospitals and whatnot. That's the kind of stuff I do on my own time. And yeah, there we go. And a buddy of mine who has a bad back can't really carry your standard pack, proton pack that you see from the movies, the little the gadgets they use and whatnot. So he made this. I know it looks like a bundle of parts, but it's a hip-mounted proton pack that he can put on his belt instead of having to wear on his back. And that's just kind of what I'm working on. He drew it in a basic 3D program for me to 3D print, and I was looking at it and nothing fit right, so I'm redrawing it. And I figured have a little fun, come on here and talk to you guys while I work. It can be quite lonely. So that's just kind of what I'm working on. And yeah, nothing serious. Maybe I'll start doing a lot more, especially when it comes time to 3D designing a lot of RC related stuff. Generally, a lot of times it's just like, I'm going to work. I don't want to do a whole lot, so I'm just going to do it. But I need to start uploading to the channel, and if I'm doing something, might as well. I want to start doing more with the RCs, and I want to get more onto the channel so I'm not just kind of limited to doing just that. Yes, who are you gonna call? The line I hear every Ghostbuster hears all the time. Who you gonna call? Such a great thing. So I'll share this little thing with you guys. So in my particular, or in a lot of the Ghostbusters proton packs that you'll see that people have built, that line is not right. Let me hide this. Yeah, that is not right. We actually have the Ghostbusters theme song built into the speaker system to make sounds. And it is fun to see people's reaction when you're walking down like a hallway or something, and you just play that, and they're just like, huh? What? Is that a Ghostbuster? But yeah, that is the one line right there that you said that we hear all the time. Who you gonna call? And some of my friends who do the same thing with me have heard it so much they started quoting from Ghostbusters 2. So when sometimes people say who you gonna call, they'll say He-Man, which is from one of the first scenes in the second movie where Zedmore and Ray, the Ernie Hudson, and God, I am failing right now with my Ghostbusters knowledge. I'm forgetting. I'm a disgrace right now. I cannot think of his name. How can I forget of one of the best Ghostbusters ever? My memory is shot. I'm sorry. I can't remember his name. But yeah, one of the big guys. And yeah. The hole is in the way. Let me get rid of that. I just deleted the whole thing. There we go. They'll say He-Man from that scene, and sometimes if they're really not in the good mood, they'll say when someone says who you gonna call, they'll go ahead and they'll say somebody else, which is a reference to one of the old the live action Casper the Friendly Ghost movies. Oh, that's hitting. That's right. And it's hysterical because like most people don't know that reference. So like when they say who you gonna call, and they say somebody else, the look that they get is just priceless because they're like they look at them and they're just like, what a dick. But yeah, that's a little. That's one of the little fun things that you'll see. How am I gonna work that right there? The hole right there. Huh. I'll have to figure something out. Alright. So, those are not the same space, so I can't just redraw with that, but I can do this real quick. That's 6.5. So that'll be 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, and there. So that's that side. But yeah, when you get back to the RCs, the big portion of my channel, which I have kind of squandered lately. I have a lot of plans in the world for the RCs. Goliath, I want to get on a big block engine. I want to get at least a 2.5 on Kodiak, the Revo 2.5. Alpha, the Nitro Stampede, I want to get him on, or I want to get Kodiak on a 2.5R. I want to get Alpha at least on a 2.5, the Nitro Stampede. Rogue, I need to get his, first off, I need to get his body printed, or painted. I finally got the paints, I just need to do it. I have been very bad at doing that. I have the paints, I just need to do it. But it was just, the weather's been bad, so if I do it, I have to be careful, or else the cold that we have been in a forever winter in will mess up the paint, so that's kind of what I'm waiting for that. He already has a brushless system, so the big thing I want to do to him is just kind of get him built up. I run him a lot during the summer, so easily over 100. The 3.3 engine's still standing up pretty good, but one problem is they like to bog out pretty easily. Generally, the T-Max never really hits second shift, and that's just because like every time it does, it bogs out. Like I have no idea why. I have tried every attempt I can to keep it from doing it, but it just does it, and I don't know why. It's slightly irritating because it's a problem, and I can't figure out why. You have for a year or for years? They're two totally different things. Because if you haven't run it in a year, all right, you know, that doesn't sound too terrible. If you haven't run it in years, I'd be concerned about the its motor, or yeah, the engine. Guess you gotta get new neighbors, huh? You might need to 3 years. I'd be so afraid to open up that engine. Like not to say it, just if there is any residual okay. I actually just recently got a second 2.5R. Well, not recently. It was a while back from someone off of Instagram. I know I did I think I did an unboxing video for it. I actually recently got a 2.5R, well not recently, a couple months back, from a dude, and the engine was stowed probably for a couple years. I'm doing the cheatsy way now. And it was completely like filled to the brim with old oils and whatnot, and it was bad. Explode! Here we go. So right now I'm in a painstakingly process of building this corner, which then I'm going to cut into later. So it's just kind of like, oh, yay, I'm taking all this time to build this corner, and it's gonna be broken apart later. So this could have taken like 5 seconds in any other 3D printing program, but since I don't know any of them, I have SolidWorks, which is an amazing 3D printing program, perfect for 3D printing, but it's so complex. Like, I look at it and I'm like, I have nowhere to start. How do I build something? How do I make something? And yeah, it's just confusing. So I just kind of stick with what I know. And making corners like this right here, just, well, you guys see I'm actually having to hand make all the lines. But yeah, actually looks like let me. No one's in there. Yeah, probably won't be on for too long of a stream. I know some people stream for like hours on end, but kind of had only had like an hour or so before more stuff came up. So I was just gonna chill in here with you guys. So we'll see how long the piece lasts, if you know what I mean. But like for my RCs, let's see what's back to it. So Rogue, I wanted to get all RPM'd up. I want to get him big bore shocks. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace Rogue's A-arms, the blue A-arms that are on him. I'm going to swap those out for black and put the blue with the low C shocks that are on him and give those to the backslash that I just got. Because I want to kind of see if I can incorporate a blue-esque theme to the black, just kind of. I flipped that wrong. There we go. That's the line I want. X I wanted to. All right. So there we go. That corner is built. Nitros are messy, but I like for me, I grew up on Nitro. My dad had a Nitro RC when I was growing up, and I fell in love with it. I really did. You know, obviously that's all personal preference. Not everyone's gonna like, you know, Nitros. They are messy, and they can be a pain to maintain. And if you forget to put it away properly, they can cause serious issues, especially when you go to turn it on, which I found out when I got an RC from a friend, and I just realized I messed up that line. So, whoop. Let me draw this line. There we go. 5, because I want to keep at least a 5mm distance from the walls internally. So that is right there is our interior. So let's go back to this, clean that up. It's, oh shit. Gotta bring that up. Then I can close this off. There we go. Yeah, so right now I'm just kind of cleaning up the interior of the part. Big thing with when you're 3D printing, you want to make sure too is that whatever model you've designed is clean. You don't want unnecessary lines and shapes internally. It's like when I'm done, I'll be these holes right here are fine the way they are, but I need to bring them up here soon, which really is gonna suck. So this line for his faces, there we go. Alright, so that's one side of it. You can see this is what we just basically built. There we go. Keep zooming out into the other part next to it. Stop it. There we go. Edit, unhide all. So what's left here? I'm gonna keep those like there. I'll worry about the screw holes later. Yeah, there's okay, apparently YouTube is having little issues with the stream. That's okay, I guess. Let's see here. This hole looks like I can see where it goes. What's its normal size? That's slide 14.25, 11.45. So I'm not gonna, my brain's 14.5 or 25. I think I said plus 11.45 divided by 2. What's the average? 12.85. Keep it simple with 12.75. Boom. And it's squared roughly center. Right down that line. And then I just realized I forgot another section for these 4 tabs. That's the line there. So 12.75. We'll draw the circle. We'll line it up right in that corner. Boom. Raise up. There's our hole. We'll bring it down to 5, which should be the top. There we go. So we have our hole there. That is for the crank knob, if I am not mistaken. And then for this section right here, which I had totally forgotten about, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to copy this part, this section. Copy. So I have this part here. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees this way. This is 12.5. This is 16. 12.5 minus 16. I need to get rid of 3.5. If math is correct, that should be 12.5, which it is. Control copy. Drop that down there. And then, boom, we have these ribs. Go ahead, dude. Go do your thing. Like I said here, I'm just kind of here having a little fun. So if you guys got anything better to do, I'll probably be logging off here anyways. I wasn't planning on doing a super long stream. Just kind of get on here and have a little fun and talk. Something I really should start doing more. Um, but yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Hopefully, I was hoping to get a little more done, but this works so far. Probably try and finish up more tomorrow, so I might be on tomorrow doing some streams. But yeah, like, there's a lot of other things I want to do. I still want to do more stuff with the RC world. Kind of unfortunate that I just haven't had the time. So we'll see what happens in the weeks to come, and I'm not sure if there's any current viewers. No, so I'm just gonna talking to myself now. Well, that part has actually done. I just got a text. Great. All right, so we have that. Which actually looks a lot easier. So before I continue, I want to hide that. Bring this up. On both sides. Edit. Hide all. Alright, so I'm gonna actually shut this down. So if those are any of you watching afterwards, I will catch you all next time. I'll see about maybe next time actually including the text chat so you guys can see who I'm actually talking to.